Welcome to first grade. Our progress reports and report cards in first grade look a little different than kindergarten, but we're still not given the traditional report card grades of A, B, C, D, or F. Instead, we're given a score of 1, 2, 3, and 4. But these scores are not a value. They don't have a quantitative value associated with them. They could have easily been a color or a shape or even an animal. But instead, they decided to give us numbers, which parents can find very confusing because they still think a 4 is an A, a 3 is a B, a 2 is a C, a 1 is a D, and that's not the case. They are simply a code. So let's take a minute and talk about what these codes mean. Every grade has standards for every academic subject set up by the federal government and the state that determine what must be taught at each grade and to what level students are expected to understand certain concepts in each subject. A standards-based report card shows you as the parent how your child is progressing on each of these standards for their grade level. Awesome, huh? Almost all students get a 2 or a 3. A 3 indicates that a child has mastered that standard. They don't need help. They can do it on their own. They don't need support and guidance in working on that standard. They get it. A 2 indicates that they're still working on it. They may need a little support or guidance, but they understand it a little bit. They just haven't got it quite yet. They need a little more time. They need a little more practice. But most of the children in the classroom will get either a 3 or a 2. So how did the score of a 4 come about? When standards-based report cards were in the beginning stages, parents expressed concern for marks for students entering a grade already achieving above grade level. That's a fair and valid concern, and that is how the 4 came about. Remember in high school those students in the IB program who were literally taking college courses while still in high school? A 4 is kind of the elementary equivalent of that. Sometimes students will have an opportunity to demonstrate knowledge and earn a 4, and when that happens, you should be proud and celebrate. But not all standards lend themselves to this. For example, how do you excel at putting a period at the end of a sentence? You either do it or you don't, but there's really no special way to add a period. This standard simply doesn't lend itself to a score of 4. Therefore, a 4 on a report card would be exceedingly difficult. A student would have to demonstrate advanced skills on every assignment and assessment for every standard within a subject. That is extremely unlikely. So if you see a 4 on an assignment or assessment, be very proud and celebrate with your child. If you see a 3 on their progress report or report card, be very proud and celebrate with your child because they are doing exactly what they should be doing and they are exactly where they should be. Let's talk about the mark of a 1. This indicates that a student has no concept of the standard yet. Imagine the child learning to write their name. They pick up a crayon and they write a series of random letters that don't spell anything. That's a 1. And I do see that from time to time in first grade. A few years ago, after learning about light and reflection, I asked students to draw a picture of a mirror, and one of them drew a world map. It was a beautiful map, but it was a 1 because it showed no understanding of light and reflection. Here's the good news. These are little children. Their brains are still developing, literally growing synapses and connections in their heads. Just as all toddlers do not learn to walk on the same day in their lives, all children do not learn to read on the same day either. Every child is unique. One day the light will come on as if a switch has been flipped in their brain. As long as the switch flips by the end of their grade, they are good to move on to second grade next year. So I encourage you to keep an eye on their scores in PowerSchool to see where they need support and practice. It's not about success or failure. It's about growth and progress, and together we will get these kiddos where they need to be.